Okay, let's try this again with audio. I just filmed this whole video and I never hit record for the mic. I export the audio on a separate device and never made sure it was going. So we're good now, but if my energy is a little off, that is why. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. TikTok is ruining your hair. There, I said it. As a working hairstylist, I do have to stand 10 toes on that statement because nothing irks me more than when a client comes in, we're having their consultation, we're doing the update, and this is like new clients and existing clients. I'm doing like a rundown on, what's different with their routine, if they've made any changes to their products, blah, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden, they tell me what they're using. They tell me about this like new technique or this new, they're always some kind of like weird trendy thing that I've like never heard of. And then when I research it, I'm like, yeah, no, stop doing that. Then when I say, hey, where did you hear that? I've never heard that before. Like I do a lot of education and continuing education. Never heard that one. And of course, they always say TikTok. To our clients out there, I can humbly say on behalf of hairstylists, I'm so sorry we have led you astray. Let's get into it. So how do we get here in the first place, and what is the deal with TikTok? Well, let's start with the fact that our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter by the day. It is a literal epidemic, and honestly, the world around us very blatantly reflects the shift in our attention spans. Fashion trends, hair colors, haircut, makeup, they all change like that. And it's not just that they change quickly, it's just the extremes in which they change. Think about it. We had cowboy copper and then Scandinavian blonde within 6 months of each other. That's diabolical. And depending on what niche corner of the internet you fall in, the trend cycle is probably even faster than that. Along with these rapid changes in what the tastemakers are saying is cool, we all expect Amazon Prime speeds in every aspect of our lives, including our products, supplements, and even our day-to-day routines. And it's just not realistic. Which leads me to my next point, which is personal experience as gospel. If you scroll long enough, you will find somebody who has a similar or the same problem or concern that you have, and they're usually sharing how they went about correcting this challenge, how they've had these amazing results from these easy shifts, or taking this one supplement, or using this one product. And it's like the miracle product of all miracle products. It doesn't matter if it's just like Joe Schmo in Milwaukee, or if it is your favorite influencer. If it strikes a nerve with you, you're going to listen. And if they have a link below their video, even better. Hit the thumbs up if you can agree and are guilty of doing this, because I know I've been. There's actually a science behind why we operate like this. Social psychology research shows that we don't have as much control over our thoughts and behavior as we think we do. Humans are social creatures by nature, and we take cues from our environment, including the people in it, on how to act. As shared in an article by Psychology Today, we use the decisions of others as heuristic or mental shortcuts to navigate our lives. It continues, in his book Influence, Cialdini uses the example of advertisers informing us that a product is the fastest growing or best selling. Advertisers don't have to persuade us that a product is good. They only need to say that others think so. Cue brand deals and AdSense. Obviously, social media is the future. Duh. It's 2025. And brands have finally caught on to the fact that traditional commercials and marketing no longer works. I mean, I'm 30 years old, and in my lifetime, I have watched the shift from finding out information about the latest, greatest product on TV commercials in between my favorite shows and late night infomercials to now having QVC in the palm of our hands in our TikTok feed, giving a real-time shift from traditional commercials to ad reads and brand deals. Forbes even wrote an article earlier this year about how Unilever CEO Fernando Fernandez is investing in influencers as a marketing strategy. If you're not familiar, Unilever is the parent company to brands such as Shea Moisture, K18, and even Living Proof, all of which I'm sure you have seen endless sponsorships for as you're scrolling TikTok. Sidebar, if you haven't checked out my Jennifer Aniston video, definitely give it a watch after you finish this video. There's some overlap there with Unilever. I'll just Unilever it at that. That was terrible. Fernandez was quoted saying, "Instead of relying solely on traditional brand messaging, Unilever is making creators a key driver of its marketing efforts, signaling a new era in how brands leverage influence. Creator-led content can power performance marketing, not just awareness campaigns. The lines between influencer marketing, paid media, and brand storytelling are blurring, requiring brands to rethink how they measure success and integrate creators into their marketing strategy." The article closes, "Fernandez believes that traditional corporate messaging no longer works. Consumers are skeptical of brand-driven narratives, and Unilever's massive investment in creators isn't just about shifting ad dollars, it's about building an integrated machine for content creation and advocacy." Moral of the story, you are more than likely going to trust the word of your favorite influencer or content creator, whether you think you will or not. So then, what is the point of all of this? What are you supposed to do? Well, you're in luck because there are 5 ways you can save your hair starting today. Number 1, stop buying every single product that you see advertised subliminally or not on TikTok and Instagram. You hear some crazy story time about a traumatic hair situation and how someone single-handedly fixed it with this product. More than likely, that's not true. Also, you don't really know the actual history of this person's hair. You don't even know if they're actually using the product. And the next thing you know, you have a counter full of 9,000 products that you never use and or use intermittently, so you can't even tell what's actually working and what's not. A lot of the times we're overcomplicating our hair routines, and honestly, that leads me into number 2. Find a hairstylist, book a consultation. Believe it or not, there are plenty of stylists that you can quite literally book a consultation with and say, "Hey, I'm not sure if what I'm using is right for my hair." They will have you come in, they will have you bring what you would typically use in a week of your normal styling routine, and they will go through every product and be like, yes, this is good for your hair. No, this is not. Here's what I would suggest. If you don't want to purchase product from me, here's some good options. If you're trying to stay in a certain budget, here's a low tier option, like a more drugstore brand option. Just know XYZ warning or side effect or potential for it to not be as good. There's a mid-tier option and a pro option. You also can get a full hair analysis so you can understand what the actual problem with your hair is. A lot of the time people think, oh, my hair's just dry, it needs moisture, Sometimes it's a protein imbalance. Sometimes it is just broken. Sometimes it's heat damage. Sometimes it's chemical damage. Sometimes it's not even dry at all and it's in your head. You just think because it's not that silicone shiny hair that it's damaged or bad, which is not true. I can make a whole other video on that. Like I said, they will go through the routine, and any good stylist is going to simplify your hair routine. Nobody needs a 45-step hair care routine. On the low end, we need at least 3 products. On the high end, probably no more than 6. Anything beyond that's a little crazy unless you're doing multiple different styles. In my case, I have well over 6 products that I use in rotation because I have naturally curly hair, but then I do blow it out and wear it straight. So I have a set of things for if I'm going to blow it out and wear it straight, and then I have a set of things for if I'm going to leave it curly and wear it natural. Working with a stylist who understands you and your hair's needs is going to be the best way to get the most bang for your buck. I also want to add a little anecdote in here that a lot of the times clients will tell me they don't want to buy a professional product, which I'm not trying to shop with your wallet. Everyone's budget and priorities are completely different, and I understand that. But they will tell me how they don't want to spend $40 on their shampoo and conditioner, which is valid. That's $80 right there, just on hair care. But on the flip side, they'll ask me about 6 different products they're using that combined cost well over $80, and they aren't even using and or don't need, and I'm telling them to gift them to somebody else because they basically just wasted their money. I know a lot of the times it feels like stylists are just trying to upsell you retail and hair care just to upsell it, but you have to understand that a lot of salons and stylists, more so the salon owners, but if they're an independent stylist like myself, we research products to the nth degree to make sure what we are bringing into our space is going to be the best quality product for our clientele and for the services that we offer. I'll get off my soapbox on that, but I did just want to throw that thought process in there just for food for thought. And then, like I said, simplicity. You're going to need a product overhaul more than likely. I know so many of you are guilty of doom scrolling TikTok. You end up on TikTok Shop and you have 15 different packages coming just this week of miscellaneous products, tools, styling gadgets, whatnot. Really par it down to what you're actually using, what you actually need to be using. And honestly, a lot of people don't realize products expire. If you've opened it and you haven't touched it in 6 months, double check the bottom of that. A lot of hair care is typically good for 12 months once opened. A lot of hair care also can be sold through third parties and already be expired. That's just some food for thought as well. I'm not one for just straight up wasting. So whenever you are paring down your hair care, or if you go see a stylist who, tells you yes, no, whatever, whatever, you don't need this, get rid of it. I'm a big proponent of pass it along to somebody who you think could use it. Don't just throw it out. That's just wasteful. It's stupid. You already spent the money. Just pass it along to someone else. I would rather it gets used up, and or I will tell clients straight up, I don't like that you're using this. However, you already bought it. You're probably halfway through at this point. Finish using it, and then we're going to swap out this product for what I recommend moving forward. That's fine. We don't need to do like a whole 180 overnight. Just replace as needed with the better options or what is suggested for your hair as you run out, or pass it along to a friend or family member or someone you hate. Honestly, if your stylist says it's trash, give it to someone you don't like. Fuck their hair up. My next tip is to be patient. Like I said, we all expect overnight instant results from things, but whether it's starting like a supplement, I know a lot of people have been struggling with hair loss due to side effects of GLP-1s, major weight loss, which I can understand is so stressful, and to hear be patient is frustrating. But a lot of people will start a supplement like Nutrafol, which it takes a minimum of 3 months on it to start seeing a reduction in hair loss, but then it also takes about 6 months to start seeing any results of like new growth and whatever. Your hair has a growth cycle. It's going to take time before you see the hair that's sprouting out of your head doing what we want it to do. On that soapbox note too, I need everyone to understand that once your ends are just destroyed beyond belief, you can't really fix it. You in a way can, you can strengthen it a little bit, but like once it's over processed or to a certain point, you need to just cut it and start fresh. This hair is already dead. What we care about and what a good stylist is targeting on is your scalp and follicle health, because that is where your hair grows from. Keeping up with your haircuts is going to help with the growing because you're getting rid of the split ends that can continue to split up the hair shaft, and then the result is that you would then need to cut off up until where the splits stop. Yeah, patience really just is key with any hair routine. You just got to be consistent with it, and you have to be patient. The results will come. If after 6 to 8 months you're not noticing a drastic change, you're not noticing anything different, then that's when we have cause for a further conversation and going in depth to more options, and or possibly referring you out to a dermatologist or a specialist who deals with hair and scalp concerns. And then last, kind of what I just said, communicate so that we can pivot and adjust as needed. At the end of the day, we're human. Hair is still a science, and we're not going to always get it right away the first time. It is a little bit of trial and error. Usually we can get you in the ballpark of what we should be doing, but then it is trial and error on how your hair responds to the products you're using, if you're taking any supplements, and to the routine that you have going for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. This is a space for open and respectful conversation. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see my face on your screen again, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an upload, and be sure to turn the notification bell on so you never miss a new video. And if you don't, okay then, find me across the internet at modbymo. Links for my sources and any publications cited in this video are down below if you'd like to check them out yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.